Our Portland Trailblazers are one of the top contenders in the NBA playoffs this year, and that starts in the first round against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Last episode, we had game one. It ended up being wild, so you should probably check out that episode if you have not already, because the first game ended up being crazy. But we got the win in massive comeback fashion. We really struggled for most of the game with Darius Springer and Shaedon Sharpe banged up. Scoot Henderson hurt his ankle in the second quarter. That's our three best players who were all injured, and we found a way to come back through a big deficit with a DeAndre Ayton masterclass and a game-tying fadeaway three at the end of the fourth quarter by Anthony Simons, followed by a strong overtime helping us get the win 132-128. Minnesota's backcourt scored 82 points. Elias Sharp was the real star of the show with 40 points on just 23 shots, while Anthony Edwards was really good as well for Minnesota. I predicted in the last episode that this would be a very competitive series. I think we could be looking at 6 or 7 games. Minnesota's not your ordinary 7th seed, and the fact that they don't match up particularly well with us, having an elite perimeter scorer and having really solid rim protection, should give us some struggles. Shaedon Sharpe's injury is the one I'm really worried about. Darius Springer's pretty much fully healthy, and I think we dodged a bullet with Scoot Henderson, who didn't really do any major damage to his ankle. Both Springer and Henderson should be 100% good by the time we get to Game 2, if not Game 3, whereas Sharpe, I'm a little bit more concerned about. As you can see here, Scoot is fully healthy. Springer is not, but he's 99%. He's as good as it gets. So right now, Shaedon Sharpe is the only significant injury that we have on the roster, and obviously he's going to try to tough it out. He had a quiet game one. He only shot the ball, I think, 6 or 7 times, finishing with 9 points. So hopefully Shaedon Sharpe can get more comfortable with his hamstring injury. Otherwise, we could be in for some trouble with our number one scorer very clearly not at 100%. So let's hop into Game 2 of the first round of the Western Conference playoffs. Portland coming off a miraculous Game 1 comeback where they trailed by as nearly as many as 20 points. They were down by 14 going into the fourth. Minnesota had control the entire way, but Portland put on the Jets late with a miraculous comeback and a ridiculous shot at the end of the fourth quarter by Anthony Simons, bringing the game into overtime, which obviously the Blazers won. Minnesota's doing some shuffling in the lineup. It'll be Naz Reid who gets the start at the center position, not Rudy Gobert. And I'm not really sure why. Interesting decision by the Wolves as we are underway. Towns inside for Naz Reid. Misses. Good defense by DeAndre Ayton, coming off an unbelievable Game 1 with 34 and 16 with just one miss. As there's Shaedon Sharpe in for the slam. And that'll put the Blazers on the board. Karl-Anthony Towns pops the triple, and it's good. Nice shot for Cat, making it 3-2. Ayton thinks about it. Pump fake over to Ochai Agbaji. He has Springer open in the corner for 3. Agbaji in Game 1 only shot 2 of 9, but he also had a career-high 11 assists. Naz Reid inside. Nice move for the big man, and it is good. Tied at 5. Shaedon Sharpe, pump fake, out to Ochai Agbaji at the top of the key. Can somebody get open? It's Springer off the screen, who hits another 3, his second of the quarter. Despite being injured in Game 1, Springer finished with a double-double, 17 and 12. Here's Elias Sharpe, hits a 3 of his own, and the Timberwolves tie it at 8. Now 10-8. Agbaji has Scoot Henderson, who looks to get by Reid. Nice move by Scoot Henderson in for the basket as he gets the layup. Good to see Scoot Henderson looking healthy after a big scare in Game 1. 14-11. Towns, fadeaway 3 is good. Cat with his second triple at the quarter. We're tied at 14. Anthony Edwards gets the screen from Reid. Back out to Naz Reid, who misses the 3. Who gets the board? It's Karl-Anthony Towns, who's in for the putback, basically bullying Darius Springer. Normally it's the opposite with Springer. 16-14. Ant gets it over to Towns. Inside for Elias Sharpe, who makes the layup for the Timberwolves. Minnesota now leads by 4. Here's Scoot Henderson, looks to drive inside. Nice little step back. Shimmy shake is good. Nice bucket for Scoot. That'll cut the lead to 2. 18-16 now. Sharpe back with it. Looking to get some room. Guarded by Springer. Drives inside with the finish. Coming off a great Game 1, Elias Sharpe is already looking strong here in Game 2. Wendell Moore now with the slam. He just blows by Shaedon Sharpe, who just looks slow out there. Again, thanks to his hamstring injury. Time winding down on the shot clock. Terrence Mann's going to have to heave it up quickly. Or Primo. He got it! Well-known woman respecter Josh Primo has the Wolves up by 9. And just like Game 1, Minnesota's building a lead early. Portland has to get a bucket, and they do. It's Darius Springer inside. He leads Portland with 8. He gets it out to the rookie, Khalil Griffin, with a nice cut in for the layup, and Portland's now only down by 5, just like that. 25-20, 45 to go in the first. There's Terrence Mann, who lets it fly from beyond the arc. 8-point game now. Under 20 to go in the quarter. Mann off the screen, hits the 3. Nice run here at the end of the first for Minnesota, and they're back up by double digits. Portland's going to get one more shot off. It's Scoot Henderson with it. Heaves it up at the buzzer, and it rattles out. That'll wrap up the first. A slow start for Portland, really on both ends of the floor. Elias Sharpe looks sharp, no pun intended. Minnesota's defense has been strong too. Off the turnover, Terrence Mann drills the 3. It's a 14-point game. Coming off an emotional Game 1 win, the team just looks flat right now. Simons gets room by Mann, and he's in for the and one slam. Big dunk for Inferno, looking to get the Blazers some energy as they bring it within 11. Good ball movement, although Griffin misses the layup. That was a great opportunity in transition that Portland is just flat out unsuccessful in. And then Rudy Gobert on the other end, the Frenchman, sends it home. 36-26, here's Griffin, open 3, won't fall, but Simons is in there with the board, and he's blocked by Gobert. Portland gets it back, though. Simons again with another rebound. Here's Sharpe on the wing. 3rd time's the charm as he hits the mid-range jumper. I like Portland's patience on that possession, waiting for the opportunity to strike and score. 38-27 now. Here is Ochai Agbaji in for the layup. Good move by the former Jayhawk in for his first points of the game. Scoot sends it over to Kevon Looney. Nice pass inside for Springer, who makes the layup, and he is in the double figures. Portland continuing to hang around, although Minnesota's holding on to their lead. They're up by 9. Here's Edwards. Out to Sharpe for 3, and he buries it. Minnesota continuing to shoot the 3 ball really well so far, while Portland's perimeter shooting has been, well, spotty. Here's Agbaji in for the layup. Good play by Ochai again, scoring in contact as it's 45-33. Scoot Henderson with it, looks to drive inside, and he sends it down with the flush. I think Portland's been a lot more successful than they were in Game 1 of attacking the basket here. Even though their shooting's been inconsistent, I like the way they've been able to finish, especially the guards. Karl-Anthony Towns hits the 3, though. Minnesota up by 13. Simons thinks about the shot, doesn't take, sends it inside for the slam. Good move by Simons. It looked like he would have had a good look for 3, but he gets an even better look for the dunk. 48-39 with 2 to go in the half. It's a step back midi for Karl-Anthony Towns. Nice shot there for the Wolves. 50-39. Agbaji looks to drive inside. Ochai's trap. Somebody's going to be open. It's Shaedon Sharpe who hits the corner 3. Good ball movement there by the Blazers. 50-42, under a minute left in the half. Sharpe wide open. Too easy. Nice move by Elias Sharpe, and it's a 10-point game. Here's Karl-Anthony Towns with it. Shrugs off Springer, and the lead is to 12 with 6 seconds left in the half. Portland's going to have to get something off quickly. It's Griffin who drives inside. Floater is good. Nice shot by the rookie Griff, and it's a 10-point game going into halftime. I think we're seeing some more consistency out of the Portland offense as the game has gone along, but their defense has been spotty, and it's not like the offense has been all that good. They only have 46 points. The perimeter shooting has been completely non-existent. Portland really has not been able to get much of anything going from 3, especially when it comes to creating their own shots. They've had some good looks off the catch, but Minnesota's perimeter defense on the ball has been fantastic. Let's see if they can keep it going, or if the Blazers can start another big comeback as Springer hits the triple, his 3rd of the game. 58-49, Moore inside for Naz Reid, guarded by Sharpe. That's a mismatch. Minnesota's going to take advantage of that 11 times out of 10. 60-49, here's Agbaji coming off his 11-assist game. He's got 6 now with the feed for Ayton. Coming off his big Game 1, he was awfully quiet in the first half here with just 2 points and 2 rebounds. Springer out to Scoot. He hits the three. Portland seems to really be getting the off-ball movement working well to start the third. They're still down by 10, though. Make it 12. Towns is in for the dunk. And the Blazers haven't been able to cut into this deficit really at all, despite the strong start from their offense. Fadeaway three. Edwards is good. And Minnesota's up by 15, one of their biggest leads of the night. Pump fake for Abaji, out to Sharp, who goes inside. Back out to Ochai for three. It falls. As this game has gone, Portland's continuing to hang in there, just as they did in Game 1. Minnesota's giving themselves some more cushion. Sharp hits the three. Got to assume Minnesota's learned their lesson from Game 1. There's no way they could choke that big of a lead again. DeAndre Ayton in for the slam. Good pass by Scoot. 72-59. Here comes Shaedon Sharp with it, with the drive and the flush. Nice dunk for Shaedon Sharp. 74-61. Scoot Henderson with it. Looks to drive inside. Scoot gets it over to DeAndre Ayton. He's in for the layup. And Portland's continuing to keep themselves in the game. Can they get a run like they did in Game 1? Or is Minnesota's offense going to continue to produce? Reed misses the putback dunk off the miss by Edwards. Perfect opportunity for Minnesota. Portland can make it a single-digit deficit. Springer, wide open. Bang! Drills the corner three. Big shot for Darius Springer, who has 16 points tonight on 4 threes. Can Minnesota answer? Shot clock winding down. Karl Anthony Towns beats the buzzer, makes the layup, and he's flexing on him. 76-66 now. Sharp over to Griffin. Only has 4 points. Looking to make a big play as he's in for the acrobatic layup. Nice play by Khalil Griffin. 76-68. Primo with it out to Gobert. He's got Elias Sharp in for the floater over the extended arm of DeAndre Ayton. 78-68 now. Here's Keegan Murray. Heaves up a three. It's good. Minnesota continues to shoot the lights out. Their perimeter shooting has not slowed down from the first half to the second. Griffin's shot is snuffed in the air by Gobert. In transition, Primo out to Towns with the finish. Minnesota's back up by 15. Make it 17, their biggest lead of the night. Around 5 seconds to go here in the quarter. Griffin, open three. Big shot for Portland. They needed that one desperately as the rookie gets a big play, and that'll wrap up the third. Much of the same as it's been for Portland. They trailed by 14. That was the same deficit they had going into the fourth quarter of Game 1, which they ultimately tied and then won in overtime. Can Portland get similar luck? Sharp out to Primo. Hits the three. Not a good start for any Blazers fans holding on for dear life, looking for a comeback. The lead's at 17 points. Henderson inside makes the acrobatic layup. That'll cut the lead down to 15 following possession. Abaji with it. Out to Henderson. Scoot looks to make a crossover here on Sharp. He's in for the slam. Portland's not going to quit, if nothing else, as we saw in the first game. Sharp, guarded by Scoot, gets it in the corner for Edwards. Gets by Abaji. Edwards, his shot is no good, but Scoot Henderson is hurt. You have got to be kidding me. I said it last episode that God hates this team, and clearly it's true. Scoot Henderson gets hurt again. So Portland's going to have to come back without him. Springer's shot brings it within 11. Edwards is no good. Springer with the rebound. Portland looking to quickly run the floor. Springer on the other end, and one! Do we have ourselves a ball game? Minnesota led by 17 to start the quarter. 2 minutes later, their lead's been cut in half. It's 8. Big three, though, for Primo. Minnesota back on track, and they're back up by 11. Shot clock winding down for the Blazers. Here's Ochai Abaji. Jumper, no good. Stewart with the offensive rebound. And Isaiah Stewart, who was the energy man in Game 1, gets the putback. 91-82. Abaji out to Simons. Pump fake. Simons inside with the finish. He had his defender flying, and Simons goes flying as well. It's a 7-point game now. If Portland wasn't in it earlier, they're definitely in it now. Sharp misses the jumper for the Wolves. In transition, Abaji, 3-ball. It's good! Ochai Abaji hits the three. We are within 4. Not only does Portland have a pulse, but they've really got life despite not having Scoot Henderson. There's Elias Sharp in for the dunk. He's got 28. a game high. 93-87. Ochai Agbaji with it. Out to Springer. Open three. It's good! It's a one-score game just like that. 93-90. Edwards drives inside. Anthony Edwards with the finish. Big slam for Ant-Man, but Portland gets it back to one possession. 95-92. Edwards over to Karl Anthony Towns, guarded by Springer. Towns' shot is no good. Nice defense by the Blazers. They're going to run the floor quickly. Here's Khalil Griffin inside. Griffin with the windmill, and we are within one. Big-time slam by the rookie. Getting up there, and now Portland reasonably can take the lead. Edwards' floater no good. Portland's got their chance now. At the start of the quarter, it was a 17-point game. 5 minutes later, the Blazers are winning. Khalil Griffin is the one who hits the shot. It was a wide-open three. Portland's got all the momentum. Minnesota needs a bucket, and they get one. Karl Anthony Towns has the Wolves right back on top with a three. 98-97, under 4 to go. Simons inside, makes the layup. Portland's now back on top. Portland's done this entire comeback pretty much without Scoot Henderson. If you look at the bottom right, he strained his left hip and will be injured for 2 to 4 weeks. It is an injury he can theoretically play through as Edwards hits the three for the lead. Shot no good that time from Ant, and Springer looks to run the floor with under 3 to go. He had an open lane. Instead, he passes it out to Shaedon Sharpe, drives inside, makes the layup, and we're knotted up at 101. Big play for Shaedon. Minnesota with it on an inbound. Edwards, tough three is good. What a shot for Anthony Edwards, who for most of this game was a real non-factor, but he has taken over down the stretch for the Wolves. Agbaji looks to respond. He's fouled on the three, and we'll get 3 shots at the line. Number 1 rule of defense, never foul the jump shooter. Agbaji would make his first 2. This one is for the tie. Can he sink all 3 at the line? Yes, he does. Ochai Agbaji goes 3 for 3, and we're now knotted up at 104. Here's Edwards, guarded by Ochai. Tight defense. Edwards looking to get some room inside. It's good for the lead. Another big play for Ants. 106-104. Here's Shaedon Sharpe out to Scoot, who's back in the game for the lead. No good, but Sharpe tips it back in, and the Blazers knot this one up at 106. Nobody wants to keep this lead. Here's Wendell Moore in the corner, out to Towns. His three is good. Karl Anthony Towns has the Wolves up by 3 with a minute to go. Scoot Henderson in the corner for Ochai Agbaji. He gets the screen. Ochai open 3 for the tie! 109-109. Minnesota gets a big shot, and Portland responds right thereafter. 45 to go. Lob is unsuccessful from Edwards. Here's Ayton to Agbaji for the lead. It's good! Ochai Agbaji with another 3. And it's Ochai making these big shots here down the stretch as he immediately gets postered by Anthony Edwards, and we're back within 1. Scoot Henderson will get the ball off the inbound. He'll go to the line to shoot 2 despite his injury. First one is no good. He misses it. Second free throw to bring the lead to 2. It's also no good. So Scoot goes 0 for 2. Minnesota calls time. Shot clock unplugged. They can hold as long as they want. Edwards with it, possibly for the lead. He gets it over to Elias Sharpe. 13 to go. Sharpe over to Towns. Back to Sharpe. Drives inside, over to Edwards with it. Edwards has space. Mid-ranger for the game. It's off! Good defense by Ochai Agbaji. It's Ayton with the rebound, then he is fouled, and will go to the line to shoot 2. Ayton's first is good. Second one would bring it to a 3-point game, and Minnesota's out of timeouts. They're just going to have to heave up a full-court shot, as it is good. 2.3 seconds left. This is it. Sharpe for the tie. It's no good. And the Blazers complete another miraculous comeback. Just like Game 1, they started the fourth quarter down by 14 points. The lead was as much as nearly 20 again. But unlike Game 1, we didn't even need overtime, as we end up pulling off the win by 3. 114-111. Just like the fourth quarter of Game 1, we were extra clutch on both sides of the ball. Defense made big plays. Offense made big plays. Shout out Ochai Agbaji for some giant shots down the stretch. 24-8 for Springer. He missed only 2 shots from the field all night. Defensively, he's been a little lackluster, but he's made up for it on offense. Ochai, 19-8. Wasn't overly impactful early, but he had 9 points in the final minute and a half, including 3 free throws and 2 threes, along with 8 assists. Again, he's been very active as a passer. Shaedon Sharpe only shot the ball 9 times, but he finished with 19 points. Really efficient. Scoot Henderson, 15 points and another injury. Griffin had 14. Simons and Ayton both a little bit quieter and certainly a little bit less efficient than the first game. Simons 0 for 5 from deep. Ayton less than 50% from the field. We shot over 50% from 3, which is a little bit of a surprise. We really didn't get the 3-point game going in the first half. Lack of volume, lack of efficiency, but we were really hitting them in the second half. Towns with 31 and 10. Sharpe with 28 and 7. Both of these guys were really good. As for Anthony Edwards, he was a non-factor for most of the game. Hit some big shots late, but he only went 6 of 19 from the field, mostly guarded by Ochai Agbaji, who did a brilliant job on him defensively up until the end. But Ochai was also hitting big shot after big shot at the end of the game, so I guess it cancels out. Minnesota shot the 3-ball really well, 18 of 40, and despite them shooting 45% from deep, it's not enough to get the win. We outscored the Timberwolves by 17 points in the fourth quarter. And just like Game 1, after trailing by a lot going into the fourth, we survive, we pull off a win. Again, like Game 1, Scoot Henderson got injured. Strained hip, out for 2 to 4 weeks. On the bright side, though, Darius Springer is now 100% healthy. But still, our 2 best players are nursing fairly serious injuries. Scoot's going to play through it. He played a little bit down the stretch in that fourth quarter. We're hoping he's going to still be able to bring a big impact, as Shaedon Sharpe did in Game 2. I wouldn't be surprised if Scoot struggles in this game particular, because as we saw with Shaedon Sharpe, it really took him a game and a half to get his footing. And although Shaedon Sharpe looks back, despite the fact that he's still injured, I do worry about Scoot Henderson a little bit. Now, luckily for the Blazers, this game isn't necessarily an end-all, be-all, but it would be really nice to go up 3-0 and get a road victory. Minnesota's a hostile environment. They've got a really fun and rowdy fan base, and I think this could prove to be a challenge here for Portland on the road. This team has not won a road playoff game together, albeit they have won road play-in games last year, as the Blazers win the tip and we are underway. Scoot Henderson with it early. Gets it over to Darius Springer. Long 2 is good. Springer's now 100% healthy. All of his mobility is back. Offensively, I don't think it's going to be much different from him, but I think his defense is going to look significantly better than it's been. Anthony Edwards gets the scoring started for Minnesota as it's now 4-2. Sharpe inside for Rudy Gobert. Misses the layup. Gobert back in the starting lineup after coming off the bench in the last game. Ayton out to Sharpe for 3. It's good! Shaedon Sharpe drills the triple. Minnesota knows they've got to start off strong. They did that in each of the first 2 games, and, well, they've got to do it again. Wendell Moore hits the corner 3. 9-7 now. Shaedon Sharpe, open lane, takes full advantage as he's in for the slam. Big-time dunk for Shaedon Sharpe, and it's now 11-7. Off of a Minnesota miss. Here's Ochai Agbaji with it, looking to drive inside. Agbaji's layup is good. Agbaji's done a great job of finishing around the rim in this series. His efficiency as a shooter inside the arc has been spotty, but in contact, I think he's done really well. There's Anthony Edwards for 3. Edwards knows he has to start off well. He certainly did not in the last game. 15-10 now. Here's Edwards with it. Step back. Edwards with a nice move inside for the layup over Agbaji. And Edwards has been the entirety of the Minnesota offense so far. Springer to Beef Stew. Isaiah Stewart with the dunk. 19-13 now. Here's Mann at the top of the key with the screen from Gobert. Mann inside, back to Rudy. Floats it up and in. And it's a 4-point game. Anthony Simons off the bench. He's obviously going to have a big role with Scoot Henderson injured as he hits the step-back mid-range jumper, his first points of the day. 22-16. Here's Darius Springer inside. No good. Grabs his own rebound, and he gets the putback. The Blazers are starting to build a nice little lead. After struggling early in games in the first 2 matchups in this series, right now it's Portland who looks strong, and Minnesota's got to respond. Elias Sharp with a big fadeaway three, and we're right back within one score, just like that. 24-21. Here's Shaedon Sharp with a nice move. Sharp inside with the layup. Sharp has played pretty much the entire first quarter. Good to see him looking healthier and healthier as these games go along. Sharp for Stewart, who gets another slam. Nice dunk by Isaiah Stewart. 28-23 now. Here's Sharp with it, trying to get some room, guarded by Simons, who's obviously not a great defender, and so Sharp takes advantage. Just seconds left to go now in the quarter. Griffin drives inside, has Sharp open in the corner, and he drills the three. Portland's offense with a really strong first quarter as Sharp's going to have to heave up a full-court shot, and it goes in! Elias Sharp with a full-court heave to end the first quarter. What a shot for Minnesota, if it counts. A possible gigantic momentum boost for the Wolves, and that ball is off. What a play by Elias Sharp, who consistently throughout this series has been the best player on the floor, and it's going to be a three-point game. Going into the second quarter, 31-28, a football score. As good as Portland looked in that first quarter, Minnesota has themselves right in it, only down by one score, with a gigantic play by Elias Sharp, who continues to dominate. Not so much on the full court heave, but overall, Portland only having one great perimeter defender, Agbaji, whose assignment has been Anthony Edwards, has really helped Sharp elevate himself as the lead scorer at times for the Wolves. Springer with a nice layup, 33-28. Springer out to Griffin. Euro step slam for the rookie. Nice play there by Griffin. Good ball movement in transition. Similar story. Quick moving in the fast break. It's Griffin again. This time for three. And Portland starts the second quarter up strong, up by 10. Simon, step back is good. Simon's game is just so aesthetically pleasing. And the Blazers are on a 9-0 run to start the second quarter. Minnesota's got to get some scoring together. Here's Primo inside with the floater. Finally, Minnesota gets a bucket and they bring it back within 10. Here's Simons with it on the wing. Sidestep three ball, no good, but big Loon. Kevon Looney is there with the offensive rebound and the putback. 44-30 now. Keegan Murray with it, guarded by Sharp. Hands it off to Sharp. Back to Murray, who hits the three. Keegan Murray is so good off the catch at shooting threes. One of the better off-ball players offensively in the league, as Sharp is in for the and one. Elias Sharp tries to set his feet and draw the charge, but to no avail. 47-35 now. Here's Anthony Simons. Thinks about the tough shot. He's going to take it. Sidestep three ball is good. Big bucket for Inferno. It's a 15-point game. Cat's shot is no good. Nice defense by Griffin. Cat gets it back, though, and he does get the putback. 50-37. Here's Scoot Henderson. Gets it over to Sharp. Thinks about the three. Doesn't take. Drives inside for the layup. This game feels eerily similar to the first two games, where one team has clear control, but the other team is playing well enough to where they're still in the game, but also not in a good spot, as Towns gets the dunk. I'm curious to see if Minnesota hypothetically could pull off a ridiculous comeback like the Blazers did in the first two games. That missed layup certainly will not help off of the Edwards steal. Leaving Ochai Agbaji wide open for three also will not help as he drills it. 55-41. Shaedon Sharp with it. He's got a team-high 15 points. Out to Scoot. Inside for Springer. Great play off the ball by Darius Springer with a clean cut to the basket as he gets the open finish. Here's Elias Sharp for three off the catch. Big shot for Sharp. 58-44. Agbaji drives inside. Hands it over to Darius Springer, who's in for the dunk. Portland's offense has been a little quiet over the last couple of minutes, but they still lead comfortably here by 16 points. Here's Sharp inside for DeAndre Ayton. Scoreless today. Changes that here with a turnaround jumper. Nice shot there by Domin Ayton. 62-44. Here's Towns with it inside. Karl Anthony Towns loses it. Springer with the steal. Out to Sharp. Has Ayton open inside, and the lead is up to 20. The biggest lead that either team has had in this series. Minnesota never led by 20 in either of the first two games. Their biggest lead was 19. So Minnesota's got to get going now as Elias Sharp hits the three. If Minnesota doesn't go on a run soon, they could very well be in real danger of falling 3-0, which is basically a death sentence in the NBA. Towns with a nice hook shot, 66-49. Here's Abaji in for the dunk. Portland's looking to get 70 before the half. Can they get it here? Springer backs down on Edwards. Springer shrugs him off, hits the jumper, and it's 70-51. Minnesota back with it. Not a lot of time left here in the first half. Anthony Edwards guarded by Abaji. Gets the screen from Gobert. Tough three. Ant-Man is no good. What a first half for the Blazers, especially on offense. I mean, they've got 70 points for Christ's sake. Defensively, they're really holding up well, too. Minnesota led by 19 points in each of the first two games, and they lost. So we cannot get overly comfortable because we have been on the other end of seeing a gigantic lead get choked within this series. Into the second half now. Biggest half of Minnesota's season will start with a three for Karl Anthony Towns. 70-54. Here is Shaedon Sharpe with it. Sharpe step back. Goes inside. Is in for the finish. Big slam for Shaedon Sharpe. And it's now 72-56. Moore has it over to Elias Sharpe. Gets some room. And Sharpe hits the triple. The second-year guard out of Illinois makes it a 13-point game. Already a good start for the Wolves here in the third quarter. Although Shaedon Sharpe is in for the layup. Nice pass by Abaji, whose passing continues to be just a gigantic evolution for this offense here in the playoffs. Cat, fadeaway jumper is good. Minnesota continuing to hit their shots early in the third, while Portland only has 4 points since halftime. Scoot is blocked at the rim by Gobert. Minnesota can make it a single-digit deficit. Sharpe with it inside for Anthony Edwards, who gets the dunk. The Blazers led by 19 at half. 5 minutes later, not even, and the lead is cut in half to 9. Sharpe with the dunk, and we are within 7. This feels so much like the first two games. We had miraculous comebacks on Minnesota. Now it's the opposite. Hopefully this lob can help give the Blazers some momentum. It's Ayton with the finish. Portland with only 6 points here in the first 5 minutes of the third quarter. A completely lethargic version of the offense that looked so good in the first half, as Elias Sharpe is in for the layup. Simons' ball is sent into next week by the Stifle Tower. Rudy Gobert on the other end. Elias Sharpe with it. He's doubled. Somebody's going to be open. It's Towns in the corner. Misses the open three. If that shot went in, that would have been so big for Minnesota. Elias Sharpe hits a floater on the following possession, though we are within 5. Sharpe with 29 points on the day. 21 since the end of the first quarter. Is at 76-71. Here's Simons. Step back. 3-ball. Big-time bucket for the Blazers. A huge three for Simons. Here's Sharpe out to Stewart. Isaiah Stewart's in with the layup. Draws the foul. It's an and one. And Keegan Murray, who normally does not have an animated personality, is livid with the call. Portland's back up by 11. Sharpe. Turnaround is good. 9-point game now, as Minnesota has it back within single digits. Portland's in takeover mode. They've got a great opportunity to build this comfortable lead back as Simons hits another jumper. He's heating up. 84-73, 2 to go in the third. Edwards, step back, no good. Gobert is there with the offensive rebound, and he gets the putback dunk. 84-75, here's Sharpe on the move. His shot's no good. Nice defense by the Blazers. Looking to run the floor quickly. They know somebody's going to be open. It's Shaedon Sharpe who hits the three. He's got 23. Sharpe out to Murray. Heaves up a prayer. It's no good. Portland back with it again, looking to run the floor quickly. Looney's pass is intercepted by Gobert. He thought Stewart was going to be open on the backdoor cut. Clearly not. Primo off the turnover. Misses. Big response by the Blazer defense. Here's Sharpe. Wide open in transition. Buries the three. It's a 15-point game just like that. Portland saw Minnesota coming back, and they're like, yeah, no, we cannot have this. Primo, step back, has Sharpe flying. I will say in defense of Sharpe, the Blazers have been two completely different teams with him on the floor and without him on the floor. He's been the Blazers' most important player tonight. The other Sharpe, Elias Sharpe, hits a three for the Wolves. It's a 12-point game with 4 seconds left in the third. It's in the hands of Simons. Simons drives inside. Layup is no good. Well, that was an interesting third quarter. The Blazers led by 19. The lead got as close as 5, but Portland's back in business up by 12. We'll see if they can continue to play well here in the fourth. We'll see if Shaedon Sharpe, who's got 28 points, can continue to play well as Wendell Moore Jr. hits the three off the Sharpe miss. Single-digit deficit. Springer's doubled, and his pass is intercepted by Naz Reid. Portland's been sloppy with the ball here in the second half as Towns makes the layup, and it's a 7-point game. 94-87. Portland's got to get some buckets quick. Back to Sharpe. Inside. Shaedon Sharpe throws it down. He's got 30 with still 8 to play here in the game. Here's Karl-Anthony Towns guarded by Sharpe. That's a mismatch. He misses it, but he gets his own rebound to end the putback. 96-89. Here's Sharpe for three. Falling backwards. No good. Springer's there. No good. Third time's the charm. Not quite. Looney's blocked. Gets another rebound. Out to Springer. Bang! I guess fourth time's the charm for the Blazers. 99-91. Here's Towns, guarded by Springer, and Towns is going to have his way with him. Springer's defensive struggles continue. Again, you can't get too mad at him with how well he shot the ball in this series, but Springer has, again, been sloppy with the turnovers. There's another one. Murray with the interception. Out to Towns. Shot over Ayton is good, and the lead is within 4. Minnesota's coming back again. Closest this game has been since the first quarter. Springer's intercepted again. Another turnover from Springer, who's been a liability with the ball the last couple minutes. Primo gets the layup. We're within 2. To think the Blazers have choked 2 leads today. Their 12-point lead has gone down to 2 in 3 minutes. Ayton misses the reverse dunk. That's just been the kind of fourth quarter it's been for the Portland Trail Blazers. Can they get a stop here on defense? Minnesota can tie or take the lead, theoretically. They've got no clue what they want to do. Shot from Moore is no good. And it's tipped, and it's Minnesota's ball. You have got to be kidding me. The Timberwolves are going to get another opportunity as Ayton tips it out. Couple of blunders from him this quarter. Edwards with a bomb. I don't know what he was thinking. Shot no good. Portland holds on to their lead. Here's Ayton with it. He's had a couple bad moments these last couple of minutes, but he has Springer open. Big 3 for Darius Springer. And the Trailblazers lead by 5. Here's Edwards out to Rudy Gobert, guarded by Ayton. Inside for Edwards. Again, it's a 1-score lead. I'm worried I'm going to have to say the line. Are you a huge lead? Because I'd love to blow you tonight. Gobert with the block on Henderson. Here's Anthony Edwards now with it. Under 5 to go. Guarded by Simons. I don't like that matchup at all. He has Elias Sharpe. Look at this matchup. Even worse. Gobert guarded by Scoot Henderson. And Gobert misses it. Could that be a turning point in this game for the Blazers? Edwards inside for Elias Sharpe. He's trapped and loses it. Scoot Henderson with the steal on the fast break. Somebody's going to be open on the wing or inside. It's Springer. He gets the dunk. 5-point lead. 104-99. Here's Elias Sharpe with it. Looks to go inside. Tipped and stolen. Another turnover from Sharpe. It's Springer who makes the play out to Ayton for Abaji, who dunks it over the defender. That was Gobert. 106-101. Here's Ochai Abaji inside for Sharpe. He gets the finish. He's now at 32 points. Portland starting to play with fire again. They're back up by 7. Sharpe inside for Karl-Anthony Towns. Layup over Springer's no good, but he gets the putback off of his own miss. 5-point game. 2:45 to play. Here is Scoot. Looks to go inside. He has Springer open for 3. Another one. Darius Springer continues to shoot the lights out here in this postseason so far. Edwards, Euro step over Abaji is good. What a play by Anthony Edwards. 111-105. Sharpe out to Springer, who's hit some big shots. To Abaji, out to Henderson. He's wide open. Scoot Henderson hits the 3. 9-point Portland lead with 2 to go. Edwards hoping to keep Minnesota alive. He has Towns open for 3. It's good. Big shot for Karl-Anthony Towns. We are back within 6. 114-108. Here is Scoot Henderson with it out to Sharpe for 3. He got it. Both teams trading back and forth 3-pointers. Edwards now. Double covered. No good. Gobert with the rebound. His shot is no good. Big miss. Big stop by the Blazers. Although Sharpe is intercepted by Sharpe. Elias Sharpe misses the open 3, though. Ayton with the rebound cannot turn it over again. Shaedon Sharpe instead drives inside. He gets the dunk. It's a double-digit lead. I'm not liking Minnesota's chances here. Portland now looking for the dagger. Henderson gets the screen. Scoot Henderson drives by Edwards. He's in for the layup. It's a 13-point game with less than a minute to go. That should just about do it. The Blazers survive. They win this game by 13, although it got a lot closer than that. We managed to blow 2 leads in this game. We led by 19 at half. Minnesota had it as close as 4 in the third quarter. And then going into the fourth, we led by 12. Minnesota brought it as close as 2. We outscored Minnesota in the fourth, despite the fact that the Timberwolves were so good early in the quarter. But we find a way to survive. We lead the series 3-0, although it's a very unconvincing 3-0 lead, considering we've been backs to the wall in all 3 games, essentially. Sharp with 36 for Minnesota, 24 for Towns, 22 for Edwards, who only played 25 minutes. Their usage today of Anthony Edwards was odd. He shot the 3-ball poorly, but from the field he was pretty good. Nobody else really stepped up for them. Their next leading scorer had 7. It was really a 3-man show. As for us, it was a 2-man show. 37 for Shaedon Sharpe. It really was a battle of the Sharps. Shaedon played out of his mind despite being injured. I think it's fair to say he looks healthy, only missing 4 shots, 5 of 6 from 3. 29 for Springer, very solid. Simons with 12, Scoot with a double-double. Scoot definitely looks hobbled. I'm hoping his athleticism will be back like Shaedon Sharpe's has. 11 for Abaji with good defense, Ayton with nearly a double-double. The other guys did their job as well, and again, we shot the 3-ball really well. I feel like our shooting from beyond the arc has been inconsistent in this series, but our 3-point shooting numbers as a team have all been really good. So the Blazers lead 3-0. How? I don't know. We really should not be up 3-0. I mean, we've trailed by damn near 20 in 2 of the 3 games, and then in the other game, we damn near choked a 20-point lead. But we're finding ways to win these games, and we'll see if we can get this sweep in Game 4 in the next episode. Should be fun. Hopefully we can get the job done, win our first playoff series of the series, and move on to the second round. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.